So good afternoon, everyone. I'm here in person on view and those joining us via streaming. It's a pleasure to have you here to this afternoon, accompanying for us in this closing event. This event marked the closure of Erasmus Plus TEXTIL4ALL project. This initiative, which has trained individuals of risk of social exclusion in Spain and also in Greece, in mainly textile recycling and the circular economy, equipping them with new skills and personal competencies to access emerging jobs in the sector. This event, we had the pleasure to have during the U Green Week, joining the framework of the Textile Recycling Expo, the fair that we were today in close from the Atomium here in Brussels. It offers an opportunity to learn firsthand about European advancement in the circular economy as a pathway for textile sector recycling. In line with the new European directive, that the significant opportunities they represent the crucial moment. This event also is aligned with the initiative that promoting the the circular economy in the textiles sector, and offering another perspective for focusing on training and also in social inclusion. Through the day, through this presentation, we will present the main results of the project and open a discussion space with experts from Involve, ESIS, and Finova. Together, we will explore key topics such as new European textile directive, success stories in the industry, and future opportunities to promote more sustainable business models. With this event, we aim to raise awareness about the importance of the circular economy and the social economy within the textile sector, and continue driving the transition toward a more sustainable and inclusive industry. It's important to highlight that TEXTIL4ALL has been very well received, and particularly among companies from three sectors, mainly environmental, circular, and social. These companies have approached us to learn more, showing genuine interest and great effort to improve the environmental and social impact. This is just this event is the final event. This is only the a beginning of more projects that we want to go, or we want to work together. At this stage, as you know, we are focused on introducing the project to all interested entities and organizations. So for me, the thing that we want to say to be very short is to introduce and to give thanks to Tusla Aguilar, Ana Santos, Paloma Jimena, and Maria Ángeles Lorente, who are dedicated to education women, youth, families, and communities in vulnerable neighborhoods in Spain and also in Greece. And finally, also, I want to mention some people who were very important for this project, and especially his contribution was crucial for this project. I mean, Alberto Ejido, Rafael Pastor, Ana López Casero, because without your trust and generosity was not being possible. That's thank you for all to be here again. And now I will give a space for the agenda that we have together. So first of all, I don't know if Juanma is available to speak, maybe not, but we have here Osvaldo Chacón, is the director of Villaverde in Madrid, and we had the pleasure to have him here.
Okay, thank you very much, Carmen.
Sí, pero Juanma is in a train. Juanma, are you available?
Yes. I don't know if you listen to me.
So maybe it's better to start.
Orlando.
Okay, thank you.
No, so better, we will start with Osvaldo. Osvaldo, are you?
Orlando.
Orlando, perdón. Orlando, sorry. Are you there? No.
Él estaba esperando, me ha dicho. Había recibido la isla. Dice, no veo nada, no conecto.
Que no ve nada.
Sí, él dice que no ve nada y que no se conecta, que no está como conectado.
¿El enlace lo tiene seguro?
Yes,
Porque
Sí, ha estado porque decía, estoy con Juanma, pero...
Sí.
Y ahora,
O sea, tiene que estar.
Sí, Carmen.
Y él se va a tener que desconectar, ¿eh? Porque
Sí,
tiene que irse al otro evento, son menos cuarto.
Sí. Okay, so if no, we are waiting for Orlando. If any time he can be able to connect and to speak, just interrupt me. And so we will start then with the agenda, and the first one is ICEA store. So is the ICEA is the senior legal and policy officer in FEAD, European Waste Management Association. So the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Thank you for the invitation. Well, maybe I will start presenting FEAD. We are the European Waste Management Association. We are representing companies that are active across the whole value chain. So from the collection to the sorting, recycling, energy recovery to final disposal, and across any waste type. So we are covering the management of household waste, but also industrial waste, commercial waste, non-hazardous and hazardous waste, so very broad scope. And of course, also part of these in textiles. And well, we see that it's, of course, we all know the environmental concerns related to it. And we are glad that the Commission is also actively taking steps now to tackle textile waste, especially, of course, concerning is post-consumer textile waste. So we see there have been a lot of good initiatives. We had a strategy for circular textiles in 2022. We are seeing, we are hoping to finalize the revision of the waste framework directive soon. That is also addressing textile waste. We are working on end of waste criteria for textiles, which is also very important for us. And of course, criteria. So we see there is a good environment at the moment at legislative level. However, when it comes to the ground, we also have huge issues. Companies are facing huge issues, both in the reuse markets, but also, of course, in recycling markets. We have very low prices for virgin products. We have fierce competition for ultra fast fashion, where we see that secondhand goods cannot even compete with new items, not to speak even about, of course, recyclates that are much more expensive than virgin fibers. So in general, there is at the moment low demand for anything that is for consumer textile. We also see that despite the obligation from January this year to collect separately, we have still low collection rate. So this we are actually expecting to increase. But yeah, for this, of course, investments are needed. We also expect, of course, that this will create job opportunities. We are happy because from the last survey we made in our membership, we have increased in the last survey. I think we reported around 300,000 jobs that FEAD is representing, and we have now increased in the last survey to 500,000 jobs. So we see really that the waste management sector it's growing, and it's an opportunity also for job growth. But when we talk about textile waste, consumer textile waste, especially, well, we need to increase the collection and we need to increase the investment. So very important for us would be to finalize as soon as possible the revision of the waste framework directive that can create some clarity, that we make sure solutions will kick in, that that we have this funding available and this financing incentive available. When it comes to other policies that we can discuss and that are creating issues for our companies at the moment to be able to operate in these markets, we are happy about the initiative to remove the exemption below 150 euro in the communities. So we think this could also to a bit address this ultra fast fashion issue that we have. So that the second-hand market can continue growing there. We think it's also important for the EU to actually take this opportunity when we talk about international trade agreements, because there is a very strong competition from third countries in other markets for second-hand outside the EU. So we are not even able to, well, we are not able to sell second-hand clothing here in Europe, but we're also not able to sell it outside. So we have a lack of outlet. When we will have a clear framework in terms of EPR schemes, we hope that also the recycling market can increase. And for this, it's also very important clarity, of course, to have eco design criteria that can ensure the recyclability of the items, and as a very strong market pool, also recycled content in new items is very important. And of course, all of these would also create increase this market and job opportunities in the waste management sector.
Thank you so much. So we will continue with Mary Jane, who is environmental policy lead at RESU. So it's your turn.
Yeah.
We already have your presentation. If Edu, can you present? The name is Mary Jane at the end. RESU Mary Jane at the end. Yeah, Armando is here. You will have it.
So nice to meet you, everyone, and thank you very much for the invitation to speak. So my name is Marie-Jeanne Gartner, and I represent Reuse, the EU's largest network of social enterprises active reuse, repair, and recycle. We currently have 34 members across Europe and even beyond. And in total, this represents over 1,000 social enterprises. I want to first highlight a little bit our members' impact to also show the relevance of textiles for our membership. So our members deal with 27 waste streams, but textile is the largest one in terms of volumes collected and in terms of revenues for our members. So every year they collect altogether more than 300,000 tons of textiles separately, out of which they managed to locally reuse 47,000 tons. And you can also see like the impact that it has in terms of job creation. These figures of 70 jobs created per 1,000 tons of waste collected is actually for like, across all waste streams. For textile is between 20 and 35, but it shows like, job creation potential of this activity. And to set a little bit the scene, I want to emphasize the role of social enterprises currently in textile waste management and particular in the use, and why they play a very important role. I would say that it's a twofold role. First of all, in terms of circularity, they always try to prioritize local use and also promote innovation in this sector. But the second aspect is really the social aspect. And there is also different dimension. First of all, they provide jobs and training opportunities to people that are distant from the labor market and that might be at risk of social exclusion. That's, let's say, the first aspect, but also they provide essential goods at accessible prices for all income people. And if we want to go even further, it kind of creates a virtuous circle where on one side, people link donation to social objective, which can increase their motivation to donate. So there you see really the interconnection with the social and the circular aspect. And this has been actually highlighted and recognized by the Waste Framework Directive, where the revision of the Waste Framework Directive states that the key role of social enterprises and their potential to create local quality jobs and potential to scale up. But now that we set the scene, let's look into the challenges and opportunities for social reuse operators. Now I have to speak about this topic that Aisha already mentioned, but if we talk about the challenges in the sector, we have to talk about the current crisis that the sector is actually facing. The resources, we already started to mention them. Indeed, there is overproduction, the rise of fast fashion, which is overloading the market, which leads to the saturation where reuse and recycling operators do not have market opportunities anymore. And the storage capacity even reached their limits. So it's a very complicated situation. Our members even said that it's the hardest crisis that they ever faced. And this is accentuated by the fact that the mandatory separate collection entered into force this year, but without any funding mechanism that was working. So to try to overcome this crisis, we are asking for so-called textile emergency action plan. So basically for emergency funding. In cases like in France or the Netherlands, where an EPR scheme is already in place, we're asking for support from the EPR scheme. And in the cases where it's where we're still waiting for an EPR scheme, that national funding is unlocked, and also for the swift adoption of EPR schemes. Beyond the crisis, which is, let's say, the most visible challenge in the sector, there are also more recurring problems or, let's say, challenges in the sector. And one of the challenges is the access to quality materials, especially in the context that we see where we have more and more of lower quality goods. And textile is characterized by the fact that the most value retention share of the market is called cream, and all actors are looking for this share, which is now becoming narrower and narrower due to the situation that I just described. So this creates a challenge for the viability of social enterprises, but not only of textile circular business models. Some of the challenges that are associated with this or the waste status, which is different from a member state to another, the competition between actors, commercial or not commercial actors, in cases where an EPR scheme is in place, the relationship with the PO, and also, for example, the capacity to access public tenders, public collection tenders. In terms of a solution to overcome this challenge, what we see as a solution is to give priority access for social enterprises to collection points, as it is the case for the revised Waste Framework Directive. to preserve the donation to social enterprises. And here it's very good that we have a big Spanish audience because I want to highlight best practice from Spain, where a law mandates 50% of the collection tenders for textiles, but also other waste streams to social enterprises. And something that we like to see also replicate more at the EU level.
Thank you so much.
Another challenge is the consumer engagement, and we can see it in reuse, but also in repair for maybe different and convergent reasons. And maybe I'm not gonna go into all those barriers, but they come from a EU project in which we are a partner called CGTAC, and we develop a report on circular business model where we see what are the barriers to consumer engagement, among other things, but also what solutions can be developed here. And we highlighted that we can play with a mechanism like enhancing the convenience for consumers, also for the communication, for example, in terms of the collection process and the branding of containers, for example, and highlighting more the impact of donation to consumers and diversifying the possibility channels for selling channels via digitalization. And I would like to end this presentation with this slide because at Reuse what we do is really advocacy at EU level. So it's a little bit different policy and measures that we see that can really foster the textile reuse and repair sector. Most of them are related to extended producer responsibility schemes. For example, making sure that EPR funding is aligned with the West hierarchy, ensuring post-cost coverage of activities, inclusive governance to make sure that we can achieve the environmental objectives and actually setting them. So that's why we mentioned here reuse targets, which are still lacking, but also having a repair bonus would help, and also playing with fiscal incentives and green commitments. So thank you very much for listening.
Thank you for the presentation, Marie. Before starting with the rest of the experts that we have online this afternoon, I will pass the words for Juanma. Juanma, I think that is available to speak finally, our CEO of Innova.
Sí, creo que hay algún tipo de dificultad técnica en los que están en la sala. No sé si me oís.
Te podemos oír. Te podemos
Vale,
oír.
Pues, vale, perfecto. Porque vamos a aprovechar mientras tenga cierta
Juanma,
cobertura. Sí, dime.
Can you talk in English, please? Because we have
Yes,
people here.
yes. No, but Carmen, of course. But before I would like to say hello in Spanish, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Buenas tardes para los españoles. Saludo a algún amigo que hace años que hemos estado en guerras. José Monzonis, muchísimas gracias por tu tiempo. A Natalia, a Verónica, por supuesto a Lola, a la gente, a Alberto Ejido. Also, Calimera. Calimera para nuestros, Calispera, para nuestros, for our partners from Greece that are excellent partners in these projects. What I would like to highlight is the importance of circular economy in sustainable fashion. Because of that, we are in this project that is one of the projects we have in Next Textile Generation. Next Textile Generation is what we tried to work from many years ago in different projects, always in the field of circular economy as TEXTILE4ALL. TEXTILE4ALL is a quite interesting, not very big, but quite interesting project to inspire in how with upcycling and recycling, we could create new jobs opportunities for women that are in risk of being out of the market. But we are also working, and I think, Jose Monzonis, you have been also involved in some missions with Alinvest Verde, and previously in triangle cooperation with our colleagues of the Sustainable Cluster of Fashion in Peru, el Cluster de Moda Sostenible de Perú, but also with the Chamber of Commerce of Bogotá, la Cámara de Comercio de Bogotá. It's another project of around 360,000 euros, and that try to promote the transfer of nice ideas, innovative ideas for sustainability in fashion. Anyway, we have had in the past, and we are very proud of that, the CircoAx project. It was a single market project, almost 1 million euros with financing in cascade financing. And thanks to this project, we were able to identify the best innovative ideas for startups in the field of sustainable fashion. Okay, in this Green Week, we would like to profit the occasion today to announce that we are working in some projects in the field of the LIFE program, in sub-program Circular Economy. The deadline will be the next 23rd September, and also we are working in the climate change sub-program, in the LIFE climate change sub-program. We are talking of pilot projects of almost 2 million euros to try to transform, to offer a valorization of the waste. I wanted to be with you physically in Brussels, but today it was the launching of the new Interreg Sudoe projects. I'm very proud of my team, José Manuel Requena, Davide, 3 of the approved projects. Interreg Sudoe means interregional cooperation. Portugal, all the Spanish, Spain in Peninsula, but also the Sudest from France. We have had some contacts also in the field of sustainable fashions with some partners in France, and it's because of that now I'm in a train from Santander to Madrid, and unfortunately I'm not in Brussels, where we have this stand in this international fair for circular economy and all what is recycling textile. Anyway, there is a lot of funding, there is a lot of ideas. We are ending a nice project, but our must is to try to offer in this networking, virtual and physical, new bridge to new projects. As I have mentioned live, very briefly, there will be a new call in November under what we call vocational training, Erasmus, and this will be for Latin America. We are talking of projects of 400,000 euros, subsidies up to 80% of projects. And also, we would like to work in the field of Horizon Europe. Anyway, we have some parallel projects to try to work in circular economy from the style from Horeca sectors, hotel, restaurants, and catering, that produce a lot of waste from textile. Today, we will have the honor in the closing to host physically to the president of Ibagué Limpia. Ibagué is the public company for waste management, water management, and social housing from the city of Ibagué in Colombia. They have come to Brussels because of the Circular Economy Week, this interesting and intensive week of conferences and networking. And allow me to announce to you that he will launch 3 categories of the Ibagué Startup Europe Awards. It's because of that we have prepared everything. The bag is there in the office, and he will launch first the PropTech Startup Europe Awards. That it means how, for example, with the waste from textile or the shoes, all what is fashion, Also, there are patents to use in social housing as new materials. In fact, we have a parallel process with the PropTech Startup Europe Awards. PropTech means real estate. Then always an alternative instead of landfill is more than welcome in housing. The second will be in the field of water management. Again, we have some links with the water from the industry, textile industry sector. And finally, all about organic waste. And also, he will invite the people interested in recycling, because they are going to do in November an international fair in recycling with IBABE. Anyway, thank you very much for following this event, and please keep in contact, and any innovative idea or needs you see in the field of environment, climate change, also energy, renewable energy in the process of the digitalization, don't hesitate to contact us, because we will try to include your ideas or your needs or your challenge in our projects in different work packages. From the train, thank you very much. And Carmen, you have the floor, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Juan.
Ευχαριστώ, for the Greeks.
Thank you so much, Juanma, for your words. So now we will continue with the rest of the experts that we have this afternoon. The next one is Alberto Ejido, the head of environment and sustainability at Moda Red. So this is your turn now.
Okay, first of all, good afternoon, and I want to thank Juanma, Pilar, and the rest of the team. Yeah, my microphone is working. Okay, so I want to thank Juanma, Pilar, and the rest of the team in Finnova for the kind invitation. I also want to greet all the familiar faces I see in the auditorium. Nice to see you again, and let me as well apologize for my rusty English and for not being there in Brussels with you today. But it was quite difficult for me to fit the trip into my schedule and budget. So to give a little context about the situation in the textile waste sector in Spain, we only collect 12% of the textile waste selectively. The remaining 88% is directly landfill. Okay, and I'm going to talk about textile waste because it's the legal term, although we know that the clothing donated is often a very easily reusable product. In fact, in Europe, around 20 kilograms of textile waste is produced per person per year. This also, of course, includes the pre-consumer waste. Okay, and as for who collects and treats the clothing, we can say that in Spain, Moda Red is responsible for 44%, and that 64% of the total textile waste is collected by insertion companies, because AERES, which is also part of reuse and are here present today, collects around 20%. So going a bit deeper into what Mary-Jane has said, the weight of the social and solidarity economy in textile waste is very, very important in Spain. And that's why we have managed to get the law to recognize it and allocate to insertion companies at least 50% of the collection, transport, and treatment contracts of textile waste. This is very important to be highlighted: collection, transport, and treatment, not only the collection. Okay, and as you can imagine, the law is not being strictly complied with, and therefore we are having to be carefully monitoring the public tenders related to textile waste. Now, after this context of the textile waste sector, I'm going to try to explain what the Modare project is. We are the textile project of Caritas Spain. It has the legal formula of a social initiative cooperative and is conformed up to 15 insertion companies, which are owned and created by the different Caritas of each region. We are spread it all over Spain, not in Navarra nor in the Canary Island. In the rest of Spain, we are there. Okay. And our main goal is to try to improve the lives of people who are in a situation or at risk of exclusion through social and labor insertion. And to do this, we create jobs for people in a situation or at risk of social exclusion. And these types of jobs account for more than half of the 1,600 jobs generated by our textile projects. These socio-occupational itineraries allow the person to acquire the knowledge and experience necessary to be able to make the leap into the normalized world of work after completing their insertion period at Modare. The gender perspective is also very, very important and is one of the value in our projects. 59% of our staff are women. And in addition, the majority of people who occupies management positions in our insertion companies are also women. We have more than 9,000 sensorized containers through the country that collect more than 47,000 tons of clothing per year. As we mentioned before, this is around 44% of the total clothing collected in Spain and make us the most relevant national operator in the collection and management of textile waste and one of the most important in the Mediterranean European area. To encourage and facilitate the reuse of textiles, we have a network of more than 175 stores nationwide, through which we also make free social donations to people in vulnerable situations. But of course, this is a very, very, very small step, because if we talk, for instance, about Great Britain, we can account more than 10,000 charitable shops around the country. So we are just at the beginning of it. And one of the objectives in our stores is to dignify social delivery. So the shopping experience in our shops is exactly the same for a person who is going to buy the clothes and for a person who is going to receive the clothes at no cost, because they are at risk of social exclusion. These persons are sent to the store by the social services of public administrations. And now we are implementing a pilot improvement, which is that the free boucher that the person is going to use is digital and is loaded on their cell phone, so that when checking out, they pass their mobile phone and no one know if you are paying with a credit card or getting your clothes for free with a social services boucher. We have a triple impact for sure: the social, the environmental, and the economic impact. All our insertion companies allocate 100% of all the incomes generated by the different activities in the development of the entity itself, through the increase in jobs, through the social delivery program, investing in improving our environmental impacts, and the creation of new points of sale and donation. Therefore, we are a 100% non-profit entity, although, as you well know, in the social and solidarity economy, we are always trying to balance the accounts, because it's very, very difficult to do a green economy with red numbers. We have also launched a program which is Modare on the Road. This project is the first traveling ethical fashion store in Spain, and it consists of a van that brings, let me play the video. Yeah, that's it. It consists of a van that brings sales to small and remote towns where a store could not exist. In addition, it brings the social and free delivery of clothing to rural areas, helping to generate employment in what is often called the emptied Spain, because few people live there. We also do and organize workshops to increase awareness that we must consume responsibly. And by the way, the awareness materials that we generate can be freely downloaded from our website. And to conclude, I want to leave you with a reflection. According to the scientific community, 6 of the 9 planetary limits, planetary boundaries, are being exceeded. The climate emergency is one of them for sure, and each one of them seriously compromises the survival of human beings on our planet. So it's that simple and that big, very important. We are only starting to suffer the consequences of our excessive consumption. So we must act now to address the environmental challenges that lie ahead of us, because the consequences of thinking that we can continue growing infinitely in a finite world can be disastrous for human mankind. Okay, so we absolutely urgently need a world with fewer emissions and maybe with more emotions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Alberto. So now we have the pleasure to present Jose Montaniz, who is the Corporate General Manager of the Textile and Fashion Observatory, which is one organization who is composed for the Spanish Fashion Confederation and also the Spanish Intertextile Council. The microphone is mute. No, José, tienes el micrófono apagado.
Carmen, ¿puedes compartir mi presentación? Si no, no hace falta.
Sí,
Sencillamente
sí.
la distribuyes y ya está, ¿vale? O sea que no hay
No,
ningún
sí.
problema, ¿vale? Okay. Well, it's a pleasure for me to participate in this meeting with a lot of Spanish people and some of them my friends. And then it's another pleasure again. As Carmen told, the observatory was launched on November 2021 by both the Spanish Fashion Confederation and Intertextile Council, joining our retail, makers, and spinning, weaving, and finishing industry, of course, sorters and recycling companies too, for facing together the long progress from a linear to a massive circular and competitiveness economy. In any case, circular mission is based on lowliness, prudence, and ambition. I'm not going perhaps to tell things that cannot be applied to a lot of different human economic activities in the world. But working of these values means to question almost everything, while pursuing a more sustainable world based on economic prosperity, social development, and healthy population and planet in the very long term. Just with this aim, I'll try to introduce in this speech no less than 4 discussions, probably from a general point of view. Perhaps my colleagues today know more than me about all of them, and then I beg that their comprehension if this is the point. First discussion about the meaning of sustainability. Basically, sustainability means to satisfy our present needs without compromising to future generations. And our planet has obviously limited resources to offer us for growth. Sometimes we highlight technology as the key point to face environmental challenges, but human impacts may also depend on population and consumption behavior. If sustainable development depends on social, environmental, and geo-economical pillars, only should we speak about it when and where all them match? Should it be possible to advance in the three pillars without international collaboration? Can we separate eco-development on quantitative terms from growth on quantitative terms, qualitative and quantitative terms? Or will technology development alone be able to face our present and future social, economic, and environmental challenges? It's the first discussion. Second discussion about the deepest reasons for the textile industry boosting over the last 40 to 50 years. We know textiles consumption has grown dramatically in the last 40 years by different reasons. Among them, the apparel supply chains globalization created by this order, efficiency, flexibility, and quickness. An accelerated worldwide economic and population growth, especially in the Asia-Pacific. An increasing clothing discard by consumers' behavior, especially in the richest economies. Considering the last 40 years, the GDP per capita in constant US dollars at power purchase parity has tripled. Or considering the last 50 years, population tripled and textile fibers production multiplied by 4 times. However, all you know, this has created worldwide environmental impacts that we can nowadays, at least, perceive. But should we forecast Indo-Pacific, Middle East, and Africa dramatic expansion of their population and GDP per capita up to 2050? And if so, what can we do? Because Europe represents no more than 20% of the total consumption of textile pieces right now. Should it be enough to develop clean technologies to share with the rest of the world? This is the second discussion. Third discussion about whether circularity may be or not the answer. The principal aim on apparel circularity is to last as much as possible the life of every single piece, and after its final disposal to recycle its fibers for being reintroduced into the industry supply chains for, in principle, different applications. European approaches to circularity are based on the ESPR and its delegated acts, including the famous DPP, the Digital Product Passport, by product families, and on the extended producer responsibility for textile waste management. Some challenges we have: rethink all the fashion industry and or reinvent business models sensibilizing consumers, implementing progressively eco-design criteria for sustainable products and extended producers' responsibility models, reducing fragmentation, expanding harmonization, boosting scale economies, and strengthening European market surveillance, improving human resources through all the circular value chains to accelerate innovations in every single step, engaging recycled fibers from post-consumer waste, especially cotton and polyester, into supply chains. Another one, please think about challenges and surely you will find new ones. And a final issue that it seems nobody speaks about it, related to the two most expected fibers from recycling, and particularly cotton, because a large proportion of conventional textiles, more than 70% of the worldwide total production, is made from cotton, polyester, and their polycotton. This is an important argument when we focus on the European textile industry that is attending increasingly technical solutions based on synthetics and or mineral fibers, where Germany is leading, but Spanish industry also dedicated 40% to them and increasing because it's higher value. Then how reintroduce especially recycled cotton, over 50% of recovery by domestic waste in the EU industry in a global and almost savage competition scenario? Should it be needed to shorten our supply chains, reboosting our conventional fabrics production for proximity makers? Is this in our focus currently? Shall push our brands and pull our manufacturing strategies be both implemented to be successful in our circularity challenges? This is the third discussion. And fourth, the last discussion about improving circularity attending social economy. Well, nice to attend this interesting meeting, but at first glance, perhaps repairing may be a very interesting tool for social economy, and sorting may also be a way to engage workers with professional careers in industry. But to progress from a linear to a massive circular economy, we will have to well understand the economic factors around circularity to improve its efficiency, adaptability, and effectiveness. For finishing my intervention, some suggestions for future. Digital technologies, AI, will probably drive great transformations. Please, exactly. Thank you very much. Professional training will be a clue factor for improvements, and operational methodologies as Lean can cement them. A final and very personal thought. Circularity can move the souls of the richest people, and we are probably among them. But what about developing countries whose aspiration is to join the developed? Are they thinking in the planet? And inside our societies, what about poor immigrants or the less fortunate among us, or simply the European middle class broken by taxes, inflation, and mortgages? A bad combination to make a more inclusive and sustainable economy if we do not lower the cost of sustainability through innovation. And however, the time is running out. My congratulations to Finnova. Juanma, thank you very much, and the collaborators and supporters in this project. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jose. So we will continue with Belén Teular, who is the head of project and planning. And also we have Veronica, her colleague, who is the director of communication, both in SADECO, is the Saneamiento de Córdoba in Spain. So I think that the person that we will speaking is Belén. So Belén, the floor is yours.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to share my presentation. I'm not sure if you can see it.
Yeah, it's sharing right now.
Wait, I can't. Okay, just a moment, please. Okay. Well, our project was Rosemed. It was a European project that. Sorry, I just a moment, please. By we want to by making of use or reuse all the fraction in different countries, in different cities of different countries. Our specific project objectives were to design and put Oh, sorry. I have a problem with my. Oh, now, okay. Our specific objectives were to design and put into operation municipal network for reuse in Córdoba, Capanovi, New Diala, and Sakis for the following fraction: organic, home appliances, books, clothes, waste, furniture, and as well as biking and loan option. To engage in administration, business, household, and the general population in the new reuse network, and to improve the waste management policies of the partner territories so that the reuse becomes a priority option, while first is green the employment around reuse. Each partner has developed reuse circuit among food and food waste, for example, a supermarket or something like this, furniture, home appliance, electric and electronic equipment, books, clothes, the key that we are speaking about today, baking, swap and exchange, and loans. Each partner has developed different types of reuse infrastructure along the 3 years that the project was running. And as you can see, we make self and community composting installation, food collection points in markets, repair and reuse centers, reuse corners for shops and business, pop-up repairing coffees, and an app solution connecting the reuse community in the partner cities. In the case of Reusemed, we have a special line related with arrangement and adoption of textile. In this way, we make several things to near to the people the best way to reuse textile things. For example, we make a local fashion and a design academy collaborated in the event. We make an event, the name is Prenda 2, in which a local fashion and a design academy collaborated in the event. Also participating were companies recognized in the activity of reusing second-hand clothes as Solencor, a local business from Córdoba. The aim was to raise awareness for the importance of the reuse and the need to treat second-hand audience. The event consisted in a fashion show with clothes donated by the collaboration companies, transformed by students for the Design and Fashion Academy, and which volunteers model we showed to the public. It was a very nice event, and a lot of people can enjoy with us for different ways to reuse the textile that we have at home and we don't use it even more. Another collaboration, we have a participation in Paradise promoted by local clothing designers and the Córdoba Multiple Sclerosis Association. Some of the outfits were designed by Nelson and Carreras and they are using second-hand clothes as raw material. Some events also included activities like making a traditional flamenco dress from upcycled material, led by Caritas, another association from Córdoba. We make another activities, for example, in workshops, on reusing second-hand clothing were held at the venues of different labor associations in the city, with the goal of promoting this activity in the communities. Some of these workshops also offered 7 machine repair services. I only want to share our small contribution for the Reusemed project, and well, I expect you can contact with us if you need something information about it.
Okay, thank you so much, Belén. So finally, we will finish our panel of experts with Natalia Castellanos, is the Deputy Director of AERES, and AERES is collaborating with CONAMA, one of the organizations very important for this project, and we have the honor to have you this afternoon. So Natalia, thank you so much. The floor is yours.
Hi, good afternoon. Do you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So thank you very much for to the TEXTIL4ALL project and next textile generation for the invitation to this panel of experts. It's a pleasure to participate in this event, and I want to apologize that I have no presentation. I have not been able to prepare in time. I feel very sorry, but I'll do my best. Okay. I work in the technical secretariat of AERES, which is one of the entities participating in CONAMA. And before telling you what we do at CONAMA, as you asked me, I would like to first tell you briefly about our organization. Well, AERES is the Spanish network for social integration enterprises that work in the circular economy. We are members of Reuse and we are on its board. For 30 years, the network has been working on waste management and the promotion of inclusive employment. AERES represents and supports our members through advocacy and the promotion of our sector. We have 36 members, social entities, present in 13 territories in Spain. And our main goal is ensuring and increasing job creation potential among vulnerable groups. Around 2,000 jobs are created in the network, 50% of which are social integration jobs. We mainly work on sustainable waste management, focusing on waste recovery and reuse. And the main waste flows are textile, furniture, and the waste of electrical and electronic equipment. And about textile waste, we manage an average of 22,000 tons per year, and around 30% is sorted for reuse. Well, one of the main lines of action of AERES is networking and alliances. And in this sense, AERES has been participating in CONAMA since 2008. CONAMA is a foundation dedicated to promoting collaborative environmental networks between governments, the private sector, and civil society. It creates spaces for meetings and dialogue and contributes to the development of shared knowledge relating to ecological transition. CONAMA is in charge as well of the National Environmental Congress, the largest environmental meeting in Spain. And it has the aim of promoting reflection and anticipation of major issues, influencing the political agenda, making proposals from the collaboration between stakeholders, and giving visibility to those reference projects that can be replicated, increasing their impact. And from my point of view, the process of creating the Congress is quite interesting. Each edition of CONAMA activates the community of specialists who shape it and contribute to reinforce this sector. They coordinate teams of experts to produce reports, working documents on a variety of sustainable topics, and design the Congress sessions. There are 9 working areas in CONAMA, including waste. One of the waste area committees is the circular economy in the textile sector, in which AERES participates. And well, my colleagues here from Modarre and from the Textile and Fashion Observatory also participate. Over the years, the committee has addressed the evolution of textile regulations, shared initiatives and experiences in sustainable innovation to improve textile waste management, and discussed the evolution of EPR. especially in recent years, it has focused on promoting the measures of the European Strategy for Textile Circularity. The committee had made different reports on the situation of the sector. And in the last year, we focused on conducting a collective analysis, which resulted in a document describing the state of the Spanish textile sector. We analyzed how to promote the measures foreseen in the strategy for the circularity and sustainability of textile products. And after many months of work and the collaboration of many committee members, the result has been a complete document highlighting the urgent need for a change facing the environmental and social impact of the current model, especially the fast fashion. The document is about to be closed and disseminated. And before concluding, I would like to share some of the main aspects that it raises, addressing the complete product life cycle of textiles. Many of these has been already been discussed in the panel. Well, firstly, it describes how European and Spanish regulation are a key driver for change. EPR is a central factor where producers have to finance the textile waste management, where eco-modulation is also a key strategy within EPR. Eco-design and prevention, it talks about designing garments that supports multiple cycles of use and allows repair and resale. The document also talks about new circular business models and the promotion of efficient waste collection system to manage textiles properly and at the end of their useful life. And the promotion of the preparation for reuse, highlighting in these 2 points the experience and the value of social economy entities. As Alberto said, we represent 64% of the textile waste collectors and management. The text also addresses efficient recycling technologies to treat the volume of waste that cannot be reused, and the need of increasing the visibility of the value chain through systems that guarantee traceability. Another key point is to encourage more conscious and responsible consumption and the role of the consumers. And of course, it addresses innovation and investment to make the transition possible, the circular transition possible. We think this solution seeks not only to minimize the environmental impact of the sector, but also to generate new economic and social opportunities within the framework of a circular economy. As advocated by CONAMA, the text underlines that the transition towards circularity requires the collaboration of all the stakeholders in the fashion and textile ecosystem, significant investment, and a clear regulatory framework, such as the one promoted by the European Union. And in our view, special attention should be paid to the contribution of social economy organization, as we already seen with the job of AERES, Reuse, or Modarbe. I hope we can share this document very soon, and thank you very much for your kind attention and for the invitation.
Thank you so much. So right now we just close the panel expert, and we will start with the consortium partner intervention. So that's the reason because we are here, and it's because to speak about TEXTIL4ALL. So we will talk about the results and the main goal that the TEXTIL4ALL had. So first of all is the turn of involve, and to speak about what was done in Greece during the project, and after that we will continue with ESIS.
Yes, I have sent the presentation there.
Is here. Puedes coger el cable, estira el cable, estira el cable.
Yes. So hello everyone, I'm Elena, I'm from Involved Entrepreneurship from Greece. For those who don't know us, we're a startup support organization, startup and innovation support organization in Greece, and we continuously support startups and general innovation with numerous of EU projects now. One of these projects is TEXTIL4ALL, in which we are partners, and we have the pleasure to execute this year. So I know that the time is a bit past, but I will try to be quick and share whatever is important. For this reason, okay, we all know the project, the goal that this project had. So I'm not gonna stay a lot to this. I just wanted to mention about us, about Involve, that our main goal, apart from training women to have this knowledge, this practical and theoretical knowledge, was to give them the opportunity to have access to the market and to actual people that they can help them somehow find a job in the sector. So during this presentation, I will share some activities that we did for this to have for the project. I will show you the trainings that we also made them in videos. Some experts that helped us with these objectives, and some success stories that we have so far. In a nutshell, let's say, it lasted about we did the project for about a month, from end of February to end of March. The most important for me is to point out the difficulties that we have, because in Greece is back in when it comes to textile recycling or using sustainable materials to create products. And I'm saying that because it was the most challenging for us was first to find people that they can help us to train women, either from brands or from organizations that are occupied with recycling. Actually, most of the recycling in Greece are happening by the public sector, and it's very difficult to get in contact with the public sector. So this was the main challenge for us. But however, we had some positive impact from the women that trusted us. It was also challenging again because we had some online participants and some on-site participants. You will see how the structure was. It was a bit different than the formal education, let's say. And we also have so far 2 success stories and a third to be announced. I will share it later. So we did some on-site workshops, not the ones that you stay and you teach women. We wanted to make it more interactive. So I will only talk about my favorite, just not to be very tiring. My favorite one and the most interesting for me was the one that you can see in the top left, in the top left. Because what we did there, I was also participating, and by incident, like I wear the same. Now I saw that I wear the same shirt, but okay, this is me, by the way. And what we do there is that we're coloring cotton materials with plants. So that's what a specific brand from Greece, Christiana Vardakou, is doing, and she's doing it very well. You can also search her website. She's making amazing clothes with this coloring them that way. It's my mistake that I didn't put photos of her works also to show you. But what we did in that workshop is learn this technique, which is a specific technique to color your clothes. And it was parallel with another workshop. It was a 4 or 5 hour. It was mostly whole day, where we learned also about organic cotton creations. It was in collaboration with the two brands, because they're also these two brands who are working together in Greece. Moving on to some online workshops. In the online workshops, we tried to focus, because we wanted to have a holistic approach, not only for the practical, but also the practical and what it has to do with sustainable and textiles. And that we want the participants also to know our, let's say, expertise as well. And our expertise that involve, it's of course entrepreneurship, whatever has to do with job opportunities, access to market, and that stuff. So again, with workshops around how to create, how you can create your own company, how you can brand your own company and sell your own company. Then how you can brand yourself in order to search for a job. And yes, long story short, we also hosted a webinar with owners of small sustainable brands in Greece to share some practical insights. What are the difficulties and the challenges to create your own brands? Yes, this is what I was talking about, the demand training. So what we did was to take all the materials that we have prepared during the project and to create videos that will be published soon, I guess, in a YouTube channel. I put just a small part of it just to let you know, because we were talking about this to the calls and you haven't seen it. I just put a small piece of it. We don't need to see it. I will pass it. Yes, and it continues like this, and it's a small video. This was just a small part of it. Because also we thought that we maybe have something to stay from this project, and that next people can also see. These are some industry experts, I call them, but there are some people that they own brands, sustainable brands, some of the little that we have in Greece, and that they were willing to help, not only by giving a speech or a workshop or whatever, but during the project or after the project, if some of the participants want to reach out to them for help. And here I come to two success stories, let's say, the big stories that we have so far. The first is that one of our participants actually, she always liked Kyriaki. She always liked to sew and to I don't remember the other word, but to make things out of textiles. And she started like during the project. She learned many more techniques. And some of her creations, she went to the municipality of Mykonos, because she is from Mykonos, and she asked the municipality, they had something like a small exposition, if she can also share her creations. And there it was, about a month ago, something after, like 1 week after Easter, something like that. Was that? And the second is that Tasa, another woman who is, she is from Albania, actually. She is an immigrant from Albania. And all her life, she liked to do that, but she was always changing jobs just, for a living. The thing is that she met Eva, the girl in the picture. Eva has this, again, small sustainable brand. Eek Clothing, it's the name, and Eva also gave a workshop on the girls on how she makes her clothes. And because Eva until now was alone and she started growing, she wanted someone to help her, and Asa was one of the girls that she's going to work with her. Next steps. So we wanted to have a workshop with this specific brand, 3/4, because what they're doing is that they create bags like this orange bag that you see there from plastics. And we wanted to also add it during the project, but we couldn't manage with our time and with our schedule and their schedule. So we didn't want to leave it. And we are planning, we talked with them again, and now that we have, we did an event, and we had a lot of plastic for recycling, from banners, from the stage, from many things. So what we thought is to collaborate with them, give them the materials, because it's a lot of material that they can use, and ask the participants of the project if they want to create with them the bags, and keeps also something from this. Now, yes, I don't know how I could measure exactly this kind of impacts and that, but yes, first of all, it was 37 women that they participated in total. And of course, yes, they gain some skills, entrepreneurial, practical, some more, some less, some they participated more, some less, but it's again difficult to measure. We are waiting to hear about more success stories, and we will not, of course, hello. We will not, of course, leave them be. We will always be by their side. For example, I have again, one woman in my mind, she wants to build her own brand, and now we are talking, helping her with lawyers and that to advise her what she can do. Because again, it's very difficult in Greece to actually have a brand, and for this brand to be sustainable, it's very difficult to find materials. And that was it. I think I was quick on time. I don't know. Thank you for your attention. That was all.
Thank you so much, Elena.
Desde el equipo de empleo y formación de ECIS, estaba comentando que parecía que no había audio, que apoyamos a la gente, a las personas en su búsqueda activa de empleo, y como parte de esta mejora de sus capacidades para el empleo y su promoción, hemos hecho esta formación para capacitar especialmente a mujeres como operarias especialistas en sostenibilidad textil, con la oportunidad de darles como una nueva salida laboral, ¿no?, en la economía circular y en la posibilidad de trabajar en plantas de reciclaje de prendas de segunda mano. Bueno, la formación se ha desarrollado durante el mes de noviembre, aquí, ¿vale?, en el espacio de Cinesia en San Cristóbal. Han sido 60 horas teórico-prácticas en un horario de mañana para permitir conciliar a las mujeres. Esto era bastante importante para adaptarnos a las necesidades reales y a la posibilidad de que puedan formarse para acceder, pues, bueno, a otras oportunidades. Y bueno, el objetivo ya más o menos yo creo que ha quedado claro. La mayoría de las participantes tenían una media de 40-41 años, aunque ha habido desde las más jóvenes que tenían 25 hasta mujeres de 65 años, ¿vale? Han sido 35 mujeres, empezaron 35 las que han finalizado toda la formación, y aunque hay muchas personas naturalizadas españolas, o sea que son ciudadanos españolas, su procedencia, pues casi la mayoría eran de Marruecos o de Latinoamérica. Y luego muchas personas que eran todavía extranjeras, pues un poco hemos puesto así las procedencias por continentes: Latinoamérica, Colombia, Ecuador, Perú, de África, Senegal, Benín, Guinea y de Bangladesh, ¿vale? Bueno, hemos ido haciendo distintos workshops, igual que en el caso de Elena en Grecia, para introducirlas, pues, a la costura, al reciclado. Y con Zaloa, que es experta en el tema de upcycling, hicieron estos talleres de introducción, y vamos mencionando también distintas personas que han ido colaborando. bueno, iban viendo un poco el tipo de costura, de telas, de fabricaciones y de componentes con los que se podían dar una segunda vida o nuevas aplicaciones a las prendas. En otra de las sesiones tuvimos la presencia de Nuria, de Deleiteware, que tiene una empresa que transforman las sábanas de hoteles de 5 estrellas en prendas. Entonces les dio un poco el ejemplo de su empresa y de cómo han podido crear esta empresa de economía circular, dándoles claves pues, acerca de buenas prácticas, de legislación, de cómo reciclar. Hicimos una actividad muy chula, fue una dinámica que gustó mucho, que fue el show de las marcas, en el que hicieron una clasificación con distintas tarjetas, una especie de concurso para clasificar las prendas en alta, media y baja gama, de acuerdo a que luego en el puesto de trabajo futuro pues pudieran conocerlas, ¿no? Muchas veces el bagaje cultural pues manejan unas marcas en unos sitios, no en otros, ¿no? Como para conocerlo todo. También fue muy interesante la visita a la Fundación Quiero Trabajo, que es una fundación que se especializa en preparar entrevistas de selección con mujeres vulnerables. Con personas voluntarias se preparan las entrevistas de selección cuando ya tienen una entrevista cerrada para un puesto de trabajo y además tienen la posibilidad de tener una atención especializada individual con una estilista que les facilita la ropa para acudir a esa entrevista de trabajo y hacen un trabajo de empoderamiento muy grande con las mujeres. La mayoría de las mujeres que pasan por el recurso pues superan las entrevistas de trabajo. Visitamos también la Feria de Empleo de la Nave, que se volverá a repetir este otoño, ¿vale? Es un evento de empleo anual en el distrito y que es la feria de empleo que mueve más participantes y más empresas en todo Madrid capital. Y bueno, seguimos trabajando en distintos talleres pues, para preparar entrevistas, soft skills y demás. A ver, y no sé si voy a dar paso a Jamie o me he metido ya en su parte. No sé si podemos dar paso a Jamie, ¿vale? Una de las actividades más interesantes fue la visita a las plantas de reciclaje que están ubicadas en Madrid, en las principales empresas que lo llevan a cabo desde el sector social. Hay otras empresas que lo hacen desde el sector privado y en este caso pues tuvimos el placer de que Alberto, que antes ha hablado como experto, nos acompañará en la visita a la planta de Laborafit de Moda Red, de Cáritas, y también estuvimos en la planta de Recumadrid, que está en el distrito de Villaverde y que además Cristina Salvador, que es su gerente, también pertenece a AERES, que hemos tenido también la intervención de Natalia Castellanos, si no me equivoco. A ver aquí. Y no sé por qué la presentación ya no me avanza de nuevo. Vale, un poco el impacto que hemos conseguido, pues son 35 mujeres formadas con nuevas competencias y otras competencias mejoradas. Ha sido un proyecto muy chulo de networking y de generar una red y una comunidad que nos han ayudado en el proyecto y a generar nuevas sinergias con distintas empresas. Por ejemplo, mantenemos una reunión también con Humana Spain dentro del sector privado pues para seguir avanzando en la inserción de estas mujeres que han recibido la formación. Y ya, bueno, pues nada, agradecer a todas las personas que han formado parte del proyecto. Y no sé si quieres cerrar tú, Jamie. O sea, Jamie.
No, nada, igual.
Vale, pues eso, agradecer un poco a todas las personas que han participado en el proyecto y que han hecho posible. Y sobre todo a las alumnas que han disfrutado mucho de él y bueno, hemos quedado muy satisfechas con la formación. Así que esperando nuevos retos, nuevas inserciones laborales y nuevas colaboraciones.
Bueno, muchísimas gracias. Bueno, pues ya cerrando un poco la clausura. Sorry, I will say in English. So, closing this event, so with this video we will finish the event. And as I said, thank you so much everyone for your attention, for your time, and we will continue working for sure. Thank you so much.